Hi, I'm JimmyNavio. Hi, we're here for another podcast. No podcast last week. Sorry about that, guys. And there might not be one next week either. If there is, it's going to be like a short one later in the evening. But most likely, there's not going to be one next week. But then after that, we're back to our normal every Wednesday night schedule. The summer's been a little bit crazy for me, but I think that's coming to an end now. Things should get somewhat back to normal. Yeah. So for those who don't know, we talked about this on the podcast a few weeks ago. Twitch started this new thing called bounties. And I signed up to be a beta tester of the Twitch bounty board. I got accepted. I finally got my first bounty, and I requested to start my bounty, which means they send you a key and they officially start it. And they just, when I got home today, they sent me my key. So either during or right after or at some point, tonight's the last night for me to do it too. It ends August 1st. We're probably going to play a little crew too. So maybe during the podcast, maybe right after. I haven't decided yet. We'll see. But that's the plan. We're going to do a short podcast. Sheef has a beef that it sounds like he's very excited and proud for. Jackbox, no, the crew 2. The crew 2 is the game that I have for my bounty board, Mr. Ninja. Which I'm actually really excited about. It looks like a fun game. I saw Battle Athlete play it a while back, and I'm curious to check it out. But before we do that, we're going to have a short podcast. My co-host, James28, is on standby right now. We got some Sheef's beef lined up. We got a few topics to talk about. Nothing too crazy, but just a chill podcast tonight. We'll probably interact with the crowd a little more for those who are here. I might throw out a little giveaway. I bought some keys for some games. For maybe tomorrow, for those who are usually around for Thirsty Thursday, I might give away some keys because there were some games on sale. So let me bring on James here and we'll have a little chat. Can I use ducats for the giveaway? I wouldn't make you spend your ducats. Usually I just give them away, or I'll do like a Nightbot roll or something. But if you're the only one here, you get a key. So, I mean, I guess you have that going for you. All right, let's switch up here. Whoop. I can see you, James.
Is that a threat?
Your voice sounded so good just now when you did that. You should always have your mic that close to your face because that sounded...
No worries. I'll just keep it right here this entire podcast.
Yeah, you're just going to lean over the whole time and hide in the corner. You gotta pull it up closer to your face. So, question for you. I've always wondered this. Not to call you out or anything, but I noticed whenever you're on camera during the podcast, and maybe we should have someone we need to come up with a command that people can spam every time you do it. You grabbing your earphone things, is that a nervous twitch?
I think it is.
I didn't know if there was like a volume setting or something, but you regularly grab. Sometimes you pull them out from your ears a little bit too, like you readjust them. But I noticed that you grab your little earphone things pretty regularly.
Yeah, I noticed I was doing that because I think I was doing it subconsciously, like as a way to like keep hold of an idea. Like if I'm saying something to help me like keep it in my head, I would grab my earphones and like pull them out and like adjust them.
Okay.
But I was like, why do I keep doing that? Because I would look over on stream because it's on the second monitor, and I'm like, I'm doing that a lot, and it's not something I was thinking about. So yeah, I think it's like a nervous thing.
Okay.
Because these headphones, they get a bit uncomfortable, like if I'm wearing them for a long time and I like wear them before the podcast. But I noticed it is like on stream when I'm like tugging at them a lot and I think it is like a nervous thing.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was like an issue until I went over a VOD, and I was like, wow, that's a lot.
I noticed I grabbed my microphone. Everyone's got their shit. I readjust my microphone like 30 times during the podcast. I think that's kind of one of my twitches. Another one is I itch the side of my nose a lot right here. I don't know, like it's just a thing that I do. And Meshyf always gives me shit and says that I'm picking my nose. That's why he bought the domain watchmepickmynose.icu or whatever and redirected it to my stream.
Yeah, did you see his Twitter post earlier?
Yeah, he used that URL in his Twitter post. Thanks, Mr. Meshyf. What a cutie patootie. Which one? Both? Or is that an all of the above statement, Wildling? Because if you're talking about James, I agree. He's a handsome fella.
Cancel that TwitchCon ticket.
There's a lady James out there somewhere who's really who's probably very satisfied.
Making me sad, Jimmy.
Oh no!
Oh no, we didn't break up.
Ugh.
But she's flying back to Illinois for college.
And when do you head back?
August 25th, I believe, is when I'm flying back. I think that's the Sunday.
So you guys got to be apart for like almost a month.
Oh yeah, no, but she's going to Illinois. I'm going to Vermont. I'm not gonna see her until like winter break, so not until December.
I mean, that's what, Skype and Chatterbait and all that stuff is for, right?
Oh, yeah, especially the second one.
Yeah. She's on there?
Oh, I am.
Oh. Nice. So, yeah. It's been 2 weeks. Anything new? You said you're working on a video.
I always say that. No, I have been making a lot of Gungeon videos because I've been having a ton of fun with that. You saw the thumbnail earlier because I was like, in my mind, I was like, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen as I'm drawing this. Turned out pretty good. But no, I needed to finish the Proto-Life video because that one was sitting there for a while because I like the game.
Yeah.
But I just never got around to like doing something with it. So I recorded the footage and I've written the script. So now I just need to record the lines and then put it all together. So it should be good in like by this weekend. That's what I'm hoping to like get it done by.
So Proto-Life video incoming. And then have you been? So you said you've been making Gungeon videos. Are those up or are you?
I have 2 up right now.
Oh, okay.
Technically 3 because I made the first Enter the Gungeon video a few weeks ago because I saw Video Game Donkey's video on it, and I was like, that looks really fun. So I bought the game and I was like, this is really fun.
I mean, it's always been a fun game.
So I titled the video, I Blame Donkey for this, because I wasn't going to buy it until I saw that video.
Perfect.
And I'm like stuck. It's really good.
I bought that game a long time ago. I've always been a fan. It's a fun game. Replay value, it was a little bit stale only because like it didn't have as many synergies and stuff. But with this update fixed a lot of that. Each run is pretty fresh now and it feels pretty different. Rat the Bong, 11 months. You almost got the gold bucket. I think you got 1 more month to go. But so yeah, like I played it a lot when it first came out and then I kind of just like tapered off. But now that there's so much more content and like all the synergies and all the like the new areas and bosses and enemies, and it feels a lot closer to Binding of Isaac as far as like replayability, because Binding of Isaac is infinitely replayable. Like,
yeah,
you can still discover weird shit that nobody knew about. Like, I want the green one. The green one was like the first one. You're already way past that. No, but that's cool. I'll have to check out your videos. You know what? Like, YouTube's still weird, man, because I swear that I smashed the subscribe. I dingled the bell. I mean, I did all the things, and I feel like I still don't get notifications when you post videos. I don't know.
Did you make sure to join the notification squad after smashing my like button?
I don't know what it is, man. YouTube's just garbage.
Yeah, I think it's kind of weird because people pointed this out like a month ago, I think, where it was like you have to hit the bell and then enable an option, because for some reason YouTube thinks it's acceptable to have, what's it called, serve a majority of the videos, not all of them.
That's
because
so lame.
I noticed it with a Rainbow Six streamer and YouTuber I would watch, because I would watch his content for Rainbow Six, so, and he uploaded daily, so I would always see it. And I was watching his stream one day, and he's like, yeah, he was talking about his Far Cry 4 is the newest one.
Okay.
Far Cry 3, I don't know. That he put out videos of that, and I was like, he did. I didn't even see those. So I go to his channel manually, and he has a bunch of them on his channel that never hit my subscription feed.
See, that's so frustrating.
Content was there. Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, because YouTube is like, we know you watch him for this stuff, so since this is a different game, we assume maybe you don't want it. But if you don't give me the chance to like maybe watch a video and then say like, oh, he watched one video but didn't go back to it,
yeah,
then we'll stop giving him those. But they make a lot of decisions for you, which is very annoying.
They know what's best
Uh-huh.
for content aggregation. They're like, don't worry about it. We've been doing this for a long time. We got to figure it out for you. We know what you want. Assholes. Wildling stopped by. By the way, she has been a regular viewer of Gator Pete's stream. She also started streaming more recently, and I talked to her about being a guest. So in a couple weeks, Wildling will probably be joining us as a guest. Thanks for saying hi, Wildling. She said she's out in public, so she may not be here still. She may have bounced already. But shout out to Wildling. Thanks for stopping by and saying hi. We're looking forward to having you on the podcast at some point in the near future. Wrath of Bong, too. He was working on a game a while ago, and then he stopped because his computer broke, and he's like, basically all he has is like a potato right now. So I'm serious. I seriously need to, like, I almost want to just like mail him a old computer. So I have so many parts laying around. Most of them are old, but it sounds like what he has might be older, and I want to see him finish his game. Phase D also developed a game that he's been trying to get on Steam for a while. He said as soon as he gets his game on Steam, he's going to come on as a guest. So I have, and then Ilian, I'm still talking to him off stream, bringing him in at some point. So I've got lots of stuff lined up. My buddy David Bond, who travels around and does stuff, and he actually just told me recently that he's starting a fake news site.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Which, not because he wants to, but because there's people making fake news about him.
Are there?
Date Advice David. Yes, that guy. If you Google David Bond, there's a bunch of controversial videos and like fake news about him in like a lot of Asian countries. They're making all these false claims about him. I hang out with him all the time, so I know that a lot of the stuff you see out there is garbage, but like there's some controversy around him, and he's a good friend of mine. I grew up with him, and he's found success just selling like travel guides and giving dating advice and stuff, but people twist up what he does and say that he like records like porn videos. Yeah, they accuse
women.
Yeah, they accuse him of all this crazy stuff, and none of it's true. There's zero evidence for it. So he's basically creating a fake news site to combat all the fake news about it. So he's like, I'm gonna, fight fire with fire, because a lot of the people that make these sites are just like one or two people that have a vendetta against him. So
yeah, because it's not difficult,
right?
There's so many ways you can do it yourself these days.
Yeah. So how controversial do you have to be to have fake news both in and out of the country? I mean, he showed me some of this stuff. Like there's like David Bond exposed, and like all these, like there's articles and websites and all kinds of stuff about him. It's crazy.
And when you're like a person that's known out there, people will do it like purely just because they can sell their own views that way too. Yeah,
exactly. A lot of it is that. A lot of it's people just like creating controversy to get their own name, like to get their name out there.
Drama sells. And it's funny too, because I remember a while back there was a IRL streamer. I forget who. I think it's CJ Ride, because
Yeah.
there's two of them. There are two white guys that went to Taiwan. I think it's CJ Ride, and there was a whole controversy with him there in Taiwan because like the news there was like reporting on him because people like that didn't like him for being like a white guy in Taiwan and like talking to women. They reported like out of context clips, like stuff like leave garbage in like public places
Yeah.
and like being rude and like disrespectful to women to these news report agencies, and like they were reporting on it. But then if you dug deeper, it's like, oh, the clips were out of context. One of the big ones was like the chat would call the women easy, but it's because there's the better Twitch emote, capital EZ, which is the Pepe the Frog in the coat. So
Yeah.
they would post that with the clap emote. But if you don't have that, all you see is the easy come up when he's like talking to women.
Yeah. Yeah, if you don't have better Twitch TV, you don't get the context for a lot of that stuff. Yeah, same exact shit happened with David. Like, what they do, what's crazy is like how news sources will use social media as a viable source. Because like a bunch of these sites are like, social media or news on social media is that David Bond is blah blah blah. It's like you're using like people on Facebook are saying that David Bond is blah blah blah. It's like you can't use social media as a source for information, like, because anyone can say anything on social media. Like that's like the laziest news reporting. It's like they'll go into these groups, and they'll capture some chat thread, and they'll just like put a screenshot up and be like, sources on social media say that blah blah blah. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's funny too, because like
sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, even in the US there's a level of that where when something happens, the news agencies, like, they have people that they pay like on payroll to go on Twitter and like find that stuff because they want to be the first to report on it. And the people that like put that up first, they have it on Twitter. So you just ask them like, oh yeah, hey, we saw you just post this like about this incident that just happened. Can we use this? And then they do. But anyone can do that.
Yeah. Well, and that's what he's trying to prove. So what he did, I'm not going to tell the name of it yet, because I'm going to have him on as a guest, and I don't know if he wants me to expose any of it yet. But so he created a news channel, because you know you can create like pages on Facebook. There's like different categories. There's like celebrity page or sports page. There's a news category. So he created a news page, and he like paid for a professional, like he has a logo and everything, and it's X News International Reporting or whatever. And he started posting his own videos and stories on there, and he would slightly tweak the facts just to make it more interesting. He has thousands of followers and likes, and the comment threads are like hundreds deep already. And he's only posted like 4 stories. And so it's like so obvious that anyone can do it. Like all you have to have is a few interesting, because he records a lot of video too, like both in the country and out of the country. Whenever he's home, he'll just like go downtown with his GoPro, and like he'll see a fight break out or the cops arrest someone or whatever, and he'll just upload that video and kind of tweak the facts on it. Like it's not 100% true, it's mostly true, but it's like, you know, people were overheard saying that he called the bouncer a Nazi, you know, like stuff like that. Not like and like people eat it up. And people get so angry, and like these like just intense emotional comment threads and like discussions will come out of it just because he just like recorded some random video and twisted the facts just enough to like get people riled up about it. And it's just like he's realized how easy it is, and it's kind of scary. So it's been interesting because he's been like private messaging me like, dude, I just posted this article like 20 minutes ago, and look at this comment thread. Like it's crazy stuff. So I really want to get him on so that we can go deeper on it a little bit and see how far he's like. I just want to get enough recognition so that I can use it to like kind of keep my name out, like to counter a lot of these articles about me when I travel. But now he's seeing like that it's so much more than that. And he's like, I can see how this could be really dangerous for someone who's hungry for power. Like you can do anything and people will just believe it because it says news. You know, just because it says news international, like people are just like, oh, it's news, okay, it must be true then.
Yeah, it's like the subreddit act like you belong. As long as you look, people will believe it because they don't have the expectation that it's false.
It's a scary world, man. So besides the proto-life and Gungeon stuff, anything else you've been up to? You getting ready for school? Aren't you going back to school soon? There's only a few weeks left.
Yeah, I'll be going back to school in, what is that, 3-4 weeks at this point. So not really. I left a lot of my stuff up in Vermont, so that's just a matter of me like picking it up once I get back there.
Where do you leave it? Do you have like a place?
I travel really light, so like the end of the past semester, I didn't have a storage space, so I packed up like everything I could, and it's kind of sad because over 2 years of being at college, everything I own fit in a cardboard box about that wide, that big, a carry-on, my backpack, and a larger suitcase. And I was like, well,
that's not sad. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, it's like it makes traveling really easy and simple.
Yeah.
So it's pretty nice, and I don't have to pay for that kind of stuff. So I don't really like require a lot of like planning and like getting ready for that kind of stuff. So it's just a matter of me flying back.
Nice.
Late August.
But you said you left stuff there. Where would you leave it?
Since I just had like a small cardboard box, I just gave it to my roommate who lives up in that area. He lives in New York, like, which is the state right over. So I was like, yeah, when I get back, when you come back, just like bring the box and then I'll take it.
Okay. That's cool.
It was just stuff I couldn't bring. It was like a second monitor because I wasn't gonna trust that on an airplane.
Oh yeah, no, that's probably better to. That's a good call. No reason to risk that. Electronics are always dangerous. By the way, everyone, you probably can't because my microphone is dynamic and it's hopefully not picking up too much. Lady Navio's decided that she wants to watch Friends. She's never watched it. You know, that's one of the interesting things. For those who don't know, we're about like 9 years apart. So I remember when Friends was on TV. So I have very little desire to like watch Friends again. But she had never seen it. So Meshyf says Friends sucks. I mean, it's not great. Lady Navio just said it's not great. But she's committed. She's a completionist. I'm convinced if Netflix had trophies the way PlayStation 4 has trophies,
platinum,
she would have all platinum trophies. Cause like she'll finish an entire show. She'll binge it and just keep watching it until she like gets all the way through it. I have a shorter attention span, so I don't always get that far, but yeah, she's been working her way through Friends. I think she's on like season 3 or 4. She's watching it right behind the green screen right now.
So that's what I was hearing earlier.
Oh yeah, did you hear it earlier?
I did.
Oh, Bria, you hear a little more because I don't have the noise gate on Zoom. So that's probably what you were hearing.
Yeah, that's how I heard my video. I was like, wait a minute, what is that? Hey guys, I'm just running here. That's me.
Why are you playing my videos? So anyway, for those of you who noticed, well, two things. Number one, the title of the stream today was Endless Summer ? Because summer's almost over, but meteorologists would say
oh, yep,
that summer's not over. It's hot as balls everywhere on the planet. And there's a lot of folks,
except the Bay Area.
So I watched a really cool video, and I'm not going to go into details about it, but it talks about like how the currents and how it affects weather and stuff. and how that's probably only going to get worse because of we're not allowed to call it global warming anymore. It's climate change. But yeah, so I live in the Central Valley of California, and half of Yosemite is on fire right now, which means all of the smoke from Yosemite just dumps into the Central Valley and gets stuck here in the valley. So the air quality here is absolute dog shit. Like, I cough pretty much daily. At least once a day I have to have a good cough. It's terrible. And Greece, like, isn't like 90% of Greece just on fire right now?
Oh yeah, people are dying. Like, it's really bad in Greece right now.
It's so, but climate change isn't real though. So summer might just never end. Eventually,
it's just an outlier, Jimmy. Don't worry about it.
One of these years, summer's just not gonna end, and people are gonna be like, "Oh, wait a minute." By then, it's way too late, though. We're all just gonna burn.
Mm-hmm. Like, I think I saw, maybe you linked it, but I remember seeing an article where it was like, in the next like 60 years, humans are gonna have to adapt to like rising heat temperatures, because it doesn't look like it's gonna be like cooling anytime soon.
Uh oh, Meshyf, are you a global climate change denier? You dirty bird. All right, well, when your face melts off and your kids die, we'll talk.
No, we're gonna live in space. We can't fix the Earth, so we're just gonna abandon it. It's gonna be like WALL-E. We're all gonna take off in our space arcs, get really fat, and one company is gonna own everything.
I don't know. Unfortunately, the way things are going, I don't think we'll have the technology before we all melt.
Probably.
Hate to be a downer, which brings me to my next point. I'm going to post this in chat just to make everyone super sad, because I read a lot of this thread, and it's pretty crazy. So there was a thread on Reddit recently, and it was really fascinating. The question on Ask Reddit was, why do millennials want to die?
Oh, and I read that one.
Oh man, and there was some really thought-provoking responses that were like, they kind of resonated with me a lot. It's rough being a millennial. It's rough being, I mean, I don't like the title millennial, but shit's just like kind of shitty right now in general. And yeah, some of the comments just talked about, like, you know, how no one can afford college, or like the standard of living has just like gone down so significantly, and like then you read all these news articles about global warming, and it's just like, it's not that we want to die, we just don't really care about living. Like, we're indifferent about this whole existence, because why?
Yeah, it's like, look, I know the Earth is getting hotter, but I also had a nice deep breath for dinner the other day, so kind of worried about that right now. That's more of a long-term worry about.
But yeah, so this is one of the most popular comments. Pretty crazy shit. I'm not gonna read it on stream, and we're not gonna dwell on it, but like, damn, that whole thread, like, I highly recommend some of you guys, because there's some jokes in there that are pretty funny too, but like, it really does give you some perspective on where we're at right now, like, as a culture, and why a lot of people in their 20s and 30s, because technically, what is millennial cut off, like 82 or 83 or something, supposedly?
I think so, yeah.
There's legitimate reasons for the younger generation to be frustrated. It's not all just us whining and complaining. I mean, it's the world is a very different place. You can't compare the 60s and 70s to now. And that's unfortunately kind of what's been going on. It's like, oh, you're just lazy. Go get a job and pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Like, okay, cool. So it's a very eye-opening conversation that's going on in that thread, and it's worth taking a look at just to gain some perspective. Whether you're a conservative or a conservative or a liberal, Republican or Democrat. I tend to be fairly moderate. I try my best to look at both sides of any argument. But that thread really kind of made me think about some stuff. So it's worth diving into a little bit. Enough with the negative news. Another thing I wanted to talk about, and we're going to get to Sheef's beef here real shortly, but according to this link that Meshyf shared with us, there is potentially a brand new Diablo project in the works. Did you read this article, James? Or did you just kind of look at it?
I saw it and then I joked. I was like, Diablo on mobile, huh?
I mean, even if it was Diablo on mobile, I would not be disappointed.
Yeah, me neither. Because it is like, it's a looter RPG, which could be fun like on your phone when you're at like an airport for 2 hours waiting for stuff to happen.
But right here it says a job opening is for a dungeon artist on the Diablo franchise by the game, but the game is listed as unannounced project. So it's probably not an artist for the existing game if it's labeled under unannounced project.
Mm-hmm.
The description makes it clear up front that this position will be working on something new. The minions of hell are growing stronger. We're working on a new unannounced Diablo project. Diablo VR. I'm just playing.
Could be interesting.
I
don't think I'd want to grind for 12 hours a day in VR though.
Yeah, true. But no, I'm excited. I'm a huge Diablo fan. I play it quite a bit off stream. It's happening D4 for iOS and Android. I mean, I hope it's not like a main. If they did do a mobile game, I hope it's like a side prod. Like I would hate for them to make, because Diablo does have a narrative. I know most people don't give a shit about the story, but there is a story. I hope that if they did go mobile, that doesn't become the next chapter in the actual like narrative arc. Maybe they do a side project. You know, maybe it's like a, you know, what's that movie? What's the Star Trek side project? Solo or whatever? The Han Solo side movie.
Oh, the side story.
Yeah, you know, they do like the side stories. I'd be cool if they did like a mobile side story. I wouldn't want it to be the direct sequel, because I don't want to have to play it, but it'd be cool to have a little. It's going to be a Diablo idle game. I mean, idle games have gained in popularity. Although, speaking of that, I'm super, super burned that, check this out. This is just stupid. People haven't learned. Fuck idle games. Nah, they're fun sometimes. You ever play Cookie Clicker? Shit's awesome.
Oh, that's a good game.
Cookie Clicker pretty much established the idle franchise. Like, Cookie Clicker was like the game that I got so addicted to that shit.
I remember leaving Cookie Clicker on my computer like all night as I slept, so I could wake up just to spend those sweet cookies on more cookies.
So Ninja Bread Mon, that argument, I used to make the exact same argument that clicker games and idle games are pointless, but it's not that far from saying that games in general are pointless, because if someone enjoys it, is it pointless? Like, that's, you got to be careful there. Like, to you, it's pointless because you don't, like, you interact in some way. Right? Like, some people do find it still gets that dopamine drip. Like, there's still some type of rewarding whatever, because you have to go back and check it and make choices, and they just take all the mechanics of actually, you know, having to attack and dodge, and they basically just focus on the meta game. It's just pure meta game. Like, there's no, it's no different than any other game. They just took the actual physical needing to attack stuff out of it, right? So yeah, you're not going to improve your Twitch skills or whatever, but you might improve your decision-making skills. It's a different type of game, but does that mean that it's pointless? I don't know. But anyway, this pissed me off. I played a lot of Clicker Heroes because it was free to play.
Mm-hmm.
And then they came out with this early access Clicker Heroes 2. Number one, it's early access. Number two, $30 for a clicker game in early access. In my opinion, they're pointless. Is that better? Yes, of course you're entitled to your opinion. I was just trying to sway your opinion and make you think about it a little bit differently. Because people make the same arguments about whatever games you play. They say, oh, they're pointless. What do you get out of it?
Yeah, it's like there's no tangible like thing you're getting out of it. It's like, well, of course it's not tangible, but it's that intangible like reward. That's why I play games.
I mean, life is pointless, really, if we're gonna go that far.
Oh, true.
Because we're all just gonna.
We're back to the why do millennials suffer from depression?
Unless you have some
full circle.
Unless you have some deep religious belief, really the only goal according to evolution is to procreate. But other than that, life is pretty pointless. Mm-hmm. So, how pointless are games? How pointless is idle games or clicker games? It's all fucking pointless. So I guess life is pointless. Exactly. So that's why I don't feel the need to point out that clicker games are pointless, because someone enjoys them. I guess that's...
Oh. Okay.
No, go ahead. I was just saying, I guess that's kind of the point I was trying to make.
Yeah, I was going to say, a lot of people have been expressing like that same sentiment. Like, why is it $30? But then, I forget who told me, but he said that they said, so it's kind of a stretch here, like a he said, she said thing, that the whole reason that they just put a $30 price tag was because they wanted to make a full game without the microtransactions, because they thought it was like an issue in the first one that people were spending too much money. So they said, we're just going to make a full, complete experience in this game and sell it at a flat price.
See, and I have an issue with that, because basically what they're saying is, hey, people who wanted to spend more, because, right, like the nice thing about microtransactions or like founders packs is that it's a choice.
Mm-hmm.
When you put a $30 price tag on it, you take the choice away from the consumer. You're basically saying, I don't care how rich or how poor you are, everyone can spend $30 on this game, and that's it. When you have a well-made like tiered model, whether it's a founders pack or cosmetics or microtransactions, you're basically letting people decide what the game is worth. So, there might be the guy who plays it for 20 hours and spends $5, but then there's the other guy who plays it for 2,000 hours and spends $100. I feel like it gives the perfect example for me, I always go back to Path of Exile, because they had those founders packs that were like $200-$300. And like the value wasn't really the point. Like, it's not like you're actually getting $300 worth of stuff when you pay for it. The point is, there's a lot of rich people out there who are willing to throw money at a project they believe in, but then they still made it a free game. So it lets people kind of decide what it's worth. So there's arguments on both sides of it, but for me, I personally kind of tend to lean towards that, especially in today's climate. Because when you say, nope, the game's going to be $30 and we're going to try and get rid of microtransactions, I feel like it's a lose-lose, because they're going to make less money, and a lot of people just aren't going to play it because they're turned off by that.
Mm-hmm. Especially since it's a clicker game. People don't want to spend $30 on an idle clicker. Right,
exactly. Like, if it were free, I probably would have spent, in the lifespan of the game, I probably would have spent more than $30 on the game. But it would have been free to jump in and start playing. That's I don't know. They still haven't learned from Vegas. You got to get them in with like the penny slots and the free hotel rooms. And then once they sit down and start playing craps for 3 hours and try and win their money back, and they're down 200, they spent more than they would have spent otherwise. That, like, learn from what works. That's why they comp hotel rooms in Vegas all the time. If you're a regular Vegas goer, you have one of those club cards or whatever, you'll just get an email that'll be like, enjoy one free night on us. And like, they're basically trying to get you there because they know once you're there, you're going to go to the buffet, you're going to go see a show, you're going to gamble at least a couple $100, Like, a free room is nothing to them.
Especially when they know that you have the money to spend gambling.
Right.
They'll bend over backwards for you, like in every situation. Like my grandma, she and my parents are going to Laughlin, Nevada this weekend, and she was like, "Yeah, I already have the rooms. I got the 3 rooms. They're free." The manager of the hotel called me and said, "Do you guys want tickets for the concert that's there?" Because she knows my grandma has been working 50 plus years and has some money saved up and would probably like to spend it at a casino.
Oh, that's just smart business. That's what I'm saying. Give the game away for free. Basically, just consider the entry of playing the game that 2-night free stay at a hotel, and then once they're in the hotel, once they're playing the game, they'd be like, "Oh, cool, yeah, you wanna speed things up a little bit," because it's a single player game. I do not give a shit about buying power in a single player game. If some rich ass dude wants to drop $3,000 to progress in the game faster, and it's a 1-player game and that's how he wants to play it, I do not care. The only thing I care about is being able to buy power. I don't like pay to win in multiplayer games. That's where things get kind of shady. But if it's a single player game, who cares if someone pays to go see the ending? Like, or to get further. Like, I give 0 shits about that. Maybe if there's a leaderboard, that could be a little gray area or whatever, but...
Yeah, I think Clicker Heroes, the first one, did have a leaderboard, and then I think it also had a multiplayer component, but it was just like, now
the multiplayer was co-op, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it was co-op for a high score.
Yeah.
So it's like, you and your buddies, we're going to try to do this, and then your versus, like, other co-op groups that are trying to go, like, even higher, like, for damage numbers and stuff. But at the end, it's all like, you're not fighting other players.
All right, so maybe in that case, I could see why they... I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know much else. I played the original Clicker Heroes on my phone, but I didn't get too far into it. I just remember, like, I was doing pretty well, and then the next thing cost me an insane amount of money that I just couldn't seem to get to, and I couldn't do a lot of damage either. But it's because it was like, oh, once you reach this part, you got to sacrifice your hero to get these, like, esoteric tokens that are going to increase your damage by 1% in each run after. And once you get enough of those, you'll be able to do enough damage to do this. And I was like, that's a little too much layering for me. I want to play something else.
Yeah, eventually I think I got to the point where I used some guide and a calculator and started a new game. And I got so much further, so much faster just because I was, like, like, I was... basically just, following an exact path that people have fit. Like, that game's been optimized to shit. Like,
it's just a numbers game,
right?
But there's a fast and easy way to do it,
right? So eventually I did one of those just to see what the late game was like, and I got pretty far. I joined, like, a guild and was, like, battling the monsters together or whatever. I was in the subreddit. I got pretty deep into the first Clicker Heroes. I used to have it running just in the background whenever I was playing something else or whatever. It'd be on one of my screens. But and this game looks cool too. I like how they changed it from just a platform to, like, an actual path that you run along and kill stuff. Like, if you watch the video, so before, the enemy would just appear in the middle of a square and you'd kill it, and then the next one would appear, and it was just like, this one, you actually travel along a path and fight each enemy. So that's kind of cool.
I do like that in the trailer where it's like the game no one asked for. Because I think tons of people are still playing the first one. Yeah.
I mean, I get that they have a successful franchise and they want to take the next step with it, but you got to be careful not to come off as greedy when you have an early access game for $30. Because there's already kind of a lot of people have a negative connotation when it comes to early access in general. So $30 for early access is, for me, it left a bad taste in my mouth personally. And there's definitely reviews that express the same sentiment. Anyway, I don't know. We'll see. Is it going to be free to play eventually, or is it just $30 is the price?
I think it's just flat price $30.
Man, I don't know about that. In other news, Weezer, for those who don't know, Weezer recently covered Africa and that other Toto song.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually went up the charts. They've been on the radio, and it's just a cover of an old Toto song of Africa, because all the memes and stuff and the Twitter channel. My favorite one so far has been the GameCube Africa meme. Did you see that one?
I think I have.
So the GameCube meme when it's the squares rolling and it's like and
then it just keeps going.
Well, it drew the shape of Africa, and then it started playing like a 16-bit version of the Africa song.
I think that's the latest one going around that I've seen, because the latest one I saw of that was, because I always try to guess what it's like drawing. And I was like, I don't know what this is. And then it finished it. It drew a person, and then it did the Fortnite dance. And I was
I saw that one.
That one's probably going to get popular because it's Fortnite. But I appreciated the Africa one more.
Yeah. So this just happened. Toto actually covered Hash Pipe from Weezer. They're going to be releasing it as an official track, but they've played it live a couple times, and someone caught this live performance. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but... So now it's just bands memeing other bands. I thought it was cool though. Toto's been a really good sport about it. I just wanted to mention it because we had brought up the other one. I thought it was funny. So we'll wait till the official track releases and we'll check it out. Also, first of all, I want some confirmation of whether or not this is actually true, or if Devolver's just like it seems like it's something that would be true.
Let's do a quick Google search.
I don't know if it's based on an article, but I fucking love Devolver. Their Twitter is the best. They clipped this article or like a quote or something. It says parents paying Fortnite tutors $20 an hour to help their children. And then at the top it says, please buy our $10 video games.
Yeah. Devolver publishes good games.
I love Devolver's games. You guys know I play a lot of them.
Enter the Gungeon.
Enter the Gungeon, Swords of Ditto, Ruiner. I mean, the list of games that they published, and most of them are cheap too. Like that's what I love, the fact that most of their games are like $10 to $20.
All right, so I did a bit of digging, and apparently it is true. The source comes from Gamer Sensei, a website that specializes in esports coaching and lessons with pro gamers, and an ad is now auto-playing somewhere on this page and burning my eardrums. I'm going to close that tab. And yeah, they have like the analytics that show that like thousands of people are like signing up to their services. So basically you pay this person and then they live stream like to the person that like
they do a coaching session basically.
Yeah, it's a coaching session.
Yeah, I mean, and some games have coaching built in, like Dota 2. They have a whole platform for coaching. Mm-hmm. And at first, when I read this, I was like, "Oh, that's fucking stupid." But the more I thought about it, and the more esports has become a thing, and the more that like playing video games and streaming video games as a profession has become a thing, I had to ask myself, like, I had to play both sides of it. And I had to ask myself, like, is this really any different than like private tennis lessons or private golf lessons? Like,
in comparison,
yeah, well, and those get a pass because they're physical sports, right? But like, esports is $1 billion industry. I mean, you've got professional NBA. Like, what's it? Rick Fox. He has his own.
Owns Echo Fox.
Yeah, he owns Echo Fox. I mean, it's an industry. Mm-hmm. Video gaming is just as big, maybe not just as big, but it's getting to the point where it's just as big as professional sports. Mm-hmm. So is it really that outlandish for parents? I mean, people used to pay me $20 an hour to teach their kids how to play the drums. Mm-hmm. I was a drum tutor. It helped me pay for college.
Yeah, this just reminds me of, I remember a few years ago, I would watch Axiom Crank when he would stream StarCraft, and he had the panel in his stream that was, I will coach you for $200 an hour, because that was the rate that these professional StarCraft 2 players would coach people to get better at StarCraft 2. People are willing to pay money to get better at games.
Yep. So while it is funny and we can scoff at it or whatever, but I mean, yeah, like if the kid gets better and he's enjoying doing it, I don't know. I guess I don't know. I still am not sure about it. But I mean, video game coaching has been going on for quite a while. I think Fortnite's just an easy target because it's so big and everyone's like, Fortnite, 12-year-olds.
Yeah, it's easy for someone to just make an article, and then since it has Fortnite in the title, people are going to click it anyway.
Yeah, exactly. The cost is probably cheaper than a new TV when Junior rage quits and throws the controller. There you go, man. I mean, yeah, I'm okay with it. And last thing before we get to our Sheef's beef, I thought this was really interesting. Real simple. It's self-explanatory, but it's just basically all of the consoles since the Atari 2600 adjusted for inflation. So it's crazy to see how expensive like some of these games were. I remember, you know which one I remember I thought was really expensive at the time when it came out, and looking at this chart, I was impressed how cheap it was compared to a lot of these. I remember when the Jaguar came out, I remember thinking, damn, that shit's expensive. But it really wasn't in comparison. The 3DO was by far one of the most expensive ones. I do remember I played the 3DO once at I went to a Circuit City or something, and they had a 3DO like display set up, and it was pretty cool. I remember being like, wow, this shit's crazy.
Graphics are so real.
I mean, because it was one of the first, if you look timeline wise, it was one of the first like true 32-bit consoles. I remember Jaguar, they claimed to be like 16 times 2 or something. They weren't like a true 32-bit. It was called the Jaguar. I think it was even called the Jaguar 16X or something like that. The 3DO claimed to be 32-bit, so it was like, holy shit. Also surprising is how cheap the Nintendo 64 was when adjusted for inflation. That's probably why it was so damn popular.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Because I remember it was, I don't remember it being 200. I thought it was like 250. Maybe, where's the Switch? I mean, you know.
It only goes to 2013.
Yeah.
How much does the Switch cost right now? Like $300?
I'm not sure, honestly.
I keep saying I want to buy one, and then I never get around to it.
I have a Wii U, so that's holding me out for now, but I'm probably eventually going to get a Switch.
Yeah, I got rid of my Wii U a while ago. It was when I was going to get a Switch, but I was like, do I need a Switch right now? And then I didn't get the Switch. It like nags me in the back of my mind, because it's like, if I get the Switch, I know I'm going to play like all the games I keep saying. But at the same time, it's like, where am I going to get the time to do that? I didn't play the Wii U when I took it with me to college.
Yeah.
How would I have time to play with the Switch?
Right. Yeah, it's really a matter of time, especially as you get older. Getting old, man. Gotta find time. I keep my Wii U around because there are a handful of Nintendo games that I enjoy getting my fix. I have the Zelda one, which is fun just to like explore. I don't know if I'll ever beat that game. The game is so massive.
I remember in Breath of the Wild, I had done so much side stuff, and then I was like, well, at this point, I should probably beat Ganon. I go in 5 minutes later, it's like, wait, that was the fight?
You like two-shot him?
Yeah, because you
can fight him pretty much any time, right?
Yeah, because you just have to straight up walk to Ganon's castle. And if you don't know what you're doing because it's your first time playing, it seems really hard. But since all the enemies like have a base like level, and then you slowly scale up as you play the game and like upgrade your stuff.
Right.
You don't realize how much stronger you're getting. So by the time I got to Ganon, I was like, oh, that was an easy fight.
Yeah.
But it was still such a good game.
No, I'm slowly working my way through it, but I also just bought its counterpart for the PS4, Horizon. That game is cool as fuck too, man. Like I've been really enjoying Horizon a lot. What's it called here? Horizon Zero Dawn or whatever?
Yes.
I got the complete edition for like $20. Like 15, $20 on sale.
Mm-hmm.
And that game is a blast. Just like robot dinosaurs walking around. And like, I don't know. I've been really enjoying it a lot. It's pretty cool. I need to get a capture card so I can do some of that on stream. But I guess some people use that PlayStation streaming, or you can stream your PlayStation to your PC, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Some people...
'Cause I know people stream like straight from the PlayStation, and it looks okay.
Yeah, I mean, but I have a physical connection, so I'm wondering if I might be able to make it look okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to figure something out because I have been playing PlayStation more lately. Lady Navio bought Detroit. She pulled the trigger and paid full price because she loved that game so much. It's the first game she's ever paid full price for by herself.
Oh,
so that's something. And she's having
$60 is pretty steep.
I know.
That was a good game. Even
well, we rented it. So she had it for like 3 days from Redbox.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, there's so many paths I haven't finished. I got to play this like 4 more times. And I was like, well, you could buy it or you could rent it 4 more times. And by then you should have just bought it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
or you can just never know what the other paths say.
No, she's got to know. Like I said, when it comes to shows and stuff, she's a completionist. So
yeah, I think that's probably the biggest reason people like that game, apart from the characters, was because of how much like new info there was. Because I remember seeing someone play it. And then like, okay, like what other paths were there? And that's like, and he's like, wait, what? And then there's whole like sections like you don't see unless you do specific stuff. It was crazy.
Yeah, like one on her first playthrough when she rented it, she killed the cop guy like pretty early on because she missed she missed one of the fast action, like she missed a couple button sequences and he got ran over. So he was just dead. And that whole storyline just like, changes because he doesn't interact later on with the characters or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So when she bought it, she restarted. She's like, I don't like that he's dead. So
I don't want him to be dead.
So she just started again from the beginning and has like been trying different like options along the way and stuff. So, it's cool for that reason that you can have such a different experience, depending on who it is and what kind of choices they make and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I like the most just watching it, was that the choices you make actually matter.
Right.
Because on all those other games, they're like, your choices will influence the game's ending. And then literally your choices do nothing. It's like, oh, this guy died, but if he lived, nothing else changed, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, that's kind
of like, why include it?
Which one was it that I felt that way? What were those really popular space ones? There was like 3 or 4 of them. I can't think of the name right now, but like there were they always Mass Effect. That's the one.
Mm-hmm.
They would always advertise how you get to make all these choices and stuff, but like half of the stuff that you do doesn't. I mean, other than maybe seeing some different cutscenes or ending up in having sex with a different character or whatever, but like
or all the characters.
Yeah, but the plot really doesn't change that much based on your choices, right? Like, there's still an overarching plot that's going to happen regardless of what you choose. At least that's how I felt from what I played of them. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I didn't play enough of them, but that's just kind of I don't know. I felt like a lot of the choices just weren't that impactful, other than like you end up being more of an asshole or a nice guy.
Yeah, it was like, do you choose the evil option or the good one? It doesn't affect anything, but it might.
Exactly. It was more of a reflection of you than the actual, like, it didn't really affect the plot that much, other than like, oh, you finished the game and nobody likes you and you slept with one chick. I don't know. It was rad at the time, though. No, they're good games. They have good gunplay, good graphics, the story. But I just wish they didn't emphasize the whole dialogue part of the game so much, because playing it now, it just feels tedious. Like if you try it, I don't know. I feel like they didn't age as well as other games in that category, just because like a lot of the dialogue just becomes very tedious and exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like games now have streamlined a lot of that stuff, so you're not like, because there's literally times where you're just on the ship talking to people for like 30 minutes in between missions or whatever. And I like the approach they're taking now with like God of War and Horizon and stuff, where a lot of that dialogue happens while you're still playing the game. You know, whether you're traveling from one area to another or you're actively talking while you're fighting or whatever, like the story develops in a much more like engaging way than just be like, okay, you go off the ship and you go do a mission and then you come back to the ship and you talk to 4 different people and you make dialogue choices. Okay, now you go down to this planet and do this mission. Then you come back and you do a bunch more dialogue. It just felt very like disconnected. You know, it felt like, okay, now you're doing missions, now you're doing talking, now you're doing fighting, now you're doing talking. And it's like, I don't know. It just didn't really appeal to me. So, that being said, Detroit actually accomplished like a game where it's mostly talking, but it's actually engaging and your choices matter. So it makes it that much more engaging.
Mm-hmm. It was basically like an interactive movie.
Yeah,
because you're determining the one of the stories and what's going to happen with some amount of gameplay. Because really, it's mostly like QTEs.
And I feel like they took everything they learned from Heavy Rain and just improved on it.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, it was objectively a better game in most ways than Heavy Rain was. But
like especially a lot of people like were sleeping on it because they were like, oh, it's another David Cage game. Because like the first one, it was good, but then a lot of people were like, oh, it was like after the fact, they were like, it wasn't that great. And then the second one made by him, it wasn't Heavy Rain, but Beyond Two Souls. That one was good, but then a lot of people didn't play it because they're like, oh, it's just like Heavy Rain. And then Detroit came around and everyone liked it.
Well, I feel like those games were necessary, though. I feel like they were stepping stones. Like, you could tell that they learned a shit ton of, like, you know, like, I'm curious to see how far they're, like, is Detroit just another step? Like, what, like, I'm excited to see if they can take it even further, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's really just a matter of time and writing staff at that point. You know, like how many different crazy like intertwining stories can we put together in a reasonable amount of time?
Yeah, and make the story good.
Yeah. The whole Android story arc is pretty cool. I mean, I know it's a concept that has been explored many times and beat to death. You know, it's kind of the same questions they ask in like Blade Runner and iRobot and whatever, you know, like at what point are computers conscious, or at what point are they a part of our society, or, you know, I don't know. It's an interesting discussion to have, especially with all the stuff going on with AI. But I think they approached it in kind of a fresh way that made it interesting still.
Yeah, like a lot of people were saying it was kind of heavy-handed, but overall it was good, because I think we're at the point, because we went through the whole like zombie phase, so I think now we're at the point of like the robot and android phase of games, especially.
Yeah, man. What's next though? We did zombies, we did pirates, kind of came back a little bit. Now we're back to androids. What's next? What's next in the cycle? Curious. We should have predictions and see what's next. Aliens?
We get stuff about global warming.
Yeah. Did aliens ever completely go away though? I feel like there's always been a trickle of like alien type games going on. Anyway, we better get to the Sheef's beef. By the way, it's gonna be a shorter podcast because I actually, in fact, I have a bounty and it runs out soon. Like, it says I have an hour left to do it. So we're gonna do Sheef's beef, have a discussion about it, and then I'm gonna go do my bounty. And in order for me to get my full bounty, for those who don't know, Twitch is doing this thing where you can play games, like sponsored games. They send you a free copy of the game and you play it, and if you maintain your average viewer count, you get a payout. So just from people watching me play this game, Twitch is going to pay me. So if you guys want me to get paid so I can turn around and buy a game and do a giveaway or something. Right after the podcast is over, I'm going to do a sponsored stream for the crew too, and I have to maintain like 16 viewers or something. I don't know if I'm supposed to tell you guys. It doesn't say I can't tell you guys that. So I'm trying to be as transparent about it as possible. I'm going to be doing a bounty. I have to play the game for an hour, and I have to have 16 viewers. So I'm probably going to do that right after the podcast. Tonight's the last night that I can do it because they took forever to send me my key. So hopefully they're okay with me doing it last minute. Anyway, let's get to this Sheef's beef. He said this one was going to catch us off guard, that it was going to be a little different. So I'm kind of curious to see what's going on. He said it was a little bit longer too. So give a heads up on the time and we can rip that 16 up, man. It's going to be right after. We're going to do Sheef's beef and then close out the podcast. And then I'm just going to change the title on the podcast and start the bounty. So we'll probably shoot for 8:30 to start it. I cut it down. Cool. We're going to check it out right now. So for those who don't know, Mr. Meshyf in chat, shout out to Meshyf. He creates a video for us to watch every week. It's called Sheef's Beef. He takes two topics that he's got beef with, and he fleshes them out for us. And then he lets us decide which one's the bigger beef. And according to him, there is a right and wrong answer. Sometimes we get it right. Sometimes we get it wrong. Sometimes James and I have a difference of opinion. So Sheef's Beef is always a fun time. It's always interesting. We don't watch these ahead of time, so it's new to us. It's as new to you as it is to us. We have not watched this yet. I have no idea what the topics are. So here we go. I'll pause my music, and we're going to Sheef's Beef. Ready? On go. 1, 2, 3, go.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Sheef's Beef. We're down here at JTRHNBR Studio Network headquarters, bringing you the beef. Now here's your man, Meshyf. Welcome, everyone, down to the stadium. My name's Meshyf. I'm bringing you the beef. Today we've got two heavy hitters, two big contenders in the contest for the biggest beef. Now, let's get right to it with our first beef. First beef is Costco.
Oh, no.
Now, why, Meshyf? Why Costco?
I love Costco.
You're a libertarian. You should love Costco. You should love the low prices, the no frills, and the easy shopping experience at Costco with all the bulk discounts. Hey, there's no discount at Costco. If you've ever shopped there, you're not getting out with less than $200-$300 bill. Okay,
True.
First of all, let's just cut the whole discount portion out of it because that's bullshit. The next thing about Costco is the membership fee. Now, I know it's a little bit of a privilege just to go to Costco to get all the big items. That's bullshit, okay? I'm going to spend a ton of money there. The whole membership thing may have been a real thing 30 years ago, but at this point, it's garbage, okay? Drop the membership bullshit, okay, Costco? The next part is I'm at Costco because I'm there for the staples. Stuff that you can buy in bulk, stuff that you're going to use, stuff that's not going to go bad right away, stuff that you need to feed your family and hopefully save some money. But here's the thing about Costco is they don't give that to you right away. You got to feed past all the bullshit, the solar salespeople, the cell phone salespeople, the generators, the jumper cables, the bulk discount on jumper cables. Is someone there for that? Who's this person? That doesn't exist. Then you finally get to the very back of the store and you find the meat counter, and the meat all comes in bulk, and that's great. That's fine. You're going to get a discount. It's good quality stuff, but hey, you got to buy 30 pounds of it. Next, you go down the shoehorn and around, and then you get hit. You get slapped. You get attacked by the free sample ladies. I know what you're saying. Meshyf, I love the samples. The samples are the best part. That's why so many people go to Costco. I know, but here's the thing. They're selling you slices of turkey with a little tiny sliver of guilt. If you get, it's called reciprocation, okay? They're going to give you something, and they're going to want a little tiny bit of something back, and that is a sale. And they do this 1,000 times over all day, and that's why Costco, you are our first beef of the week. Oh, wait. We're not done with Costco. Here's the other part. Checking out. Takes forever.
Checking out
Everyone's
does
got their
suck.
bulk stuff. Takes too long. You finally get out of the store. You're finally signed up. You spent your $300 and you're ready to run home before all this shit spoils. But you stop. You're accosted. You're a paying Costco membership, and they still stop every single member at the door and check their receipt to make sure you didn't steal. Did you steal something while you were shopping with us today? That's just a bad experience. Come on. I'm not a thief. The Sheef ain't no thief. That's why you're the beef. Second beef is bathroom sinks. I know what you're thinking. How could this possibly be a beef? Who has a beef with bathroom sinks? Well, Meshyf does. And here's what it is. This is the problem with bathroom sinks. This is
Who's got a
cheap,
pointer?
poorly designed piece of crap that you'll see at just about any Mexican restaurant, an Italian
production value.
restaurant, a bathroom at a gas station, or God forbid, your own home or apartment. Now, what's the issue with this? The issue is this stupid spout is too close to the back of the sink.
Yes.
Leaving you washing your hands not like this, but like this up against the sink. Not only is it unhygienic, but it's also gross and annoying, and it leaves the rest of the sink completely and utterly unused. And this sink doesn't even have a stopper at the bottom, so you can't use it to wash your face or do anything else useful with. Fuck you, sink. Now here's the next one, tiny sink. Fuck you, tiny sink. Another great example, and this is probably one of the most common Kohler sinks that are out there. This is built in. These are everywhere. Too small, no pressure, no nothing. Terrible sink. What is this? What are we looking at here? So this is another problem with sinks. They try and get too fancy. So you've got the old boring that is just badly designed because it's hard to wash with. What the hell is this? The upkeep on this is a nightmare. Water's just going to immediately splash out this way, or this way. You can't use it at like a normal sink. All this is for is dabbing a little bit of water on your hands and then spilling it everywhere else. Look at this freaking drain here. How do you clean this? Does this whole thing come apart or what? We don't know. Holy shit. Imagine brushing your teeth, and spitting the toothpaste out, and it goes all the way down this thing. And you got to clean it. Or you got hair all over this thing. Like, this is just a nightmare. This is so poorly designed and thought out. It's unusable. They've managed to get the sink away from the wall of the sink, so you're not at least touching the disgusting porcelain. But they don't give you any water pressure because if they did, it would splash everywhere. Another poorly designed sink. Okay, here's the thing about these. We got these at my work recently. They don't have this nice faucet that's at least high up off the ground. The ones at work are cut about right here, okay? And then they come down immediately over the drain. What happens when you use this sink, especially at the angle this one's at? You turn that knob on, ready to get the poo-poo off your hands, and then the water's going to...
Why are you getting poo-poo on your hands, Meshyf?
To make it look like you peed. Basin sinks are another awful thing. Here's why. You're not washing your hands like this, like a normal human being. You're up underneath in the corner trying to wash your hands inside the basin. Not only do you have to wash the inside of the sink on this design, but also the outside and then the countertop as well. It's just poorly designed sink. This is almost passable. This is about what's passable for sinks for me. That's why sinks, you are the second beef of the week. Jimmy, James, chat. I want to hear what you guys have to say for today's beefs. Now, stick around to the end. There is a right answer. We're going to get back to that. But I first want to hear what Jimmy, James, the chat, the guests have to say. Let's hear your predictions for the beef of the week.
All right.
Welcome back.
Oh, sorry. 6:43, I think, is about where I stopped.
Yeah, I'm about the same.
So, first of all, I completely 100% disagree with you on Costco. I love Costco. Yeah, you might spend a little more there because you can't resist all of the cool shit they have. Not everything there is bulk. You're kind of like over exaggerating a little bit. Not all the meat is bulk. Not all that, like in general, you'll get 2 loaves of bread instead of 1. Most of the stuff is kind of bulk, but not all of it. Also, samples I'm okay with. I've actually discovered 2 or 3 things that have become some of my favorite foods because of those samples. One of them being the Everwood pineapple sausage. That shit's my favorite. I go out of my way to find that sausage. Costco doesn't even carry it all the time anymore, but I will find that damn sausage because it's so good. And I would have never discovered it if it weren't for one of those old sample ladies. I love that shit. I like that. If it's something that I'm not interested in or I've already had, You're eating guilt, Jimmy. No, I don't feel bad for taking a sample and not buying it. Maybe I'm just not. I have no conscience. I don't know. But I like the samples, and if they're ones that I don't like, if they're trying to sell, if they're like cut up a pizza or like trying to give me some grape juice or something, I just skip them because there's always like people standing around and I don't want to deal with it. But if it's something I've never had before, it gives me an opportunity to try it. I don't see anything wrong with that. You'd go to Sample Sunday and just go wild. You could probably get full just from walking around to every station and eating samples. Plus, they got the $1.50 hot dog and a drink. Still can't beat that anywhere, even if they raise the price a buck. Like, if I was a hobo, I would try and like pitch my hobo tent as close to a Costco as possible. $1.50, because some of them have the food station thing outside, so you don't even have to go inside with a membership. Like, hot dog and a drink, and their hot dogs are big. Hot dog and a drink for $1.50. You can't beat that. The hot dog and a drink is the best part about Costco. Then why have a membership? Also, they do have discounts. They have a whole car program that's actually pretty good, which you're probably mad about because you work at a car dealership. My friend just saved like $3,000 by going through Costco to buy a car from a dealership because like dealerships have like deals with Costco. Also, tires, I've saved, the last time I bought tires, I saved a couple $100. Big ticket items, you can save a decent amount of money at Costco. Also, gas. They don't upcharge you for using a credit card. So if they say gas is $2.39 or whatever, it's $2.39. Even if you use your Visa, credit card, whatever, it's like 10 to 20 cents cheaper per gallon than anywhere else in town. So there are things that your membership is paying for, and their return policy is still pretty good. I'm not a Costco shill, but don't act like there's not some kind of value there. That's why, if it's me, 100% agree with you on the sync thing. And I'm going to say, for me personally, sync is the bigger beef for everything that you said. Short syncs, stupid syncs, motion detectors that don't work half of the time. Syncs are just terrible in general. Especially in public restrooms. At your home, definitely things that piss me off are those filters that always get clogged, and if you don't replace them regularly, your pressure goes to shit. I feel like sync technology, everything, like we're shooting rockets into space and bringing them back and reusing them. We could probably do better at designing syncs. So I would say my bigger beef is syncs. That's enough of my rant. I want James to say some words.
Well, you said everything that could be said about Costco, because if you're not making your money back through the samples, what are you really doing there? Because Costco and like stuff like Sam's Club, it's kind of like paying for Amazon Prime shipping. You're not really making your money back through that membership on the free shipping unless you're buying a lot of stuff. So you gotta nickel and dime them every time you can through those free samples. But with syncs, you can instantly recognize a bad sync, like, immediately. Because it's like Meshyf said, when you have to put your hands right up against the sink in a public area, it's awful.
You're probably touching everyone else's doo-doo.
Of course, if Meshyf is doing that at his work, it's happening at a public restaurant.
Exactly.
So even at your own home, the sinks can be awful. So in comparison, I'm going to have to go sinks are definitely the beef, because those Costco department stores, those ones, the pluses, they're so varied and there's so many of them. But sinks, especially your sinks in your own home, you're stuck with that. You're not going to put down $500 to replace your sink. It's not worth your time.
Yep. Also, I forgot to mention, eye exams. If anyone out there doesn't have insurance, but you got a Costco membership, you can get an eye exam for free from Costco. It's either free or it's like super duper cheap. Like, there are things that your membership kind of like, there's value there. Also, for those who don't know, you can go into Costco without a membership if you tell them you're going to buy alcohol. At least in California, it's illegal to have a private alcohol, a paid private alcohol club where you can purchase booze. It's like against the law in California. So if they try and card you at the door, you can just say, "Oh, I'm just here to buy a bottle of whiskey or something." Like, they can't stop you. There's a few things. I think the pharmacy too. There's a couple things that you can actually go into Costco without a membership. And the membership's cheap, Meshyf, you cheap ass. It's like, what, $50 a year? You probably spend that much on Twitch bits and subs. So I 100% have to go with Sinks on this one. So I think we're in agreement this week. If he says Costco, I might have to hire someone else to make beef from now on, because
Looks like you'll find someone else to sell you cars, huh?
Says the guy that won't pay $30 for an idle clicker game. There's no value, dude. Costco's way more value than that game. Come on. All right, here we go.
Clicker doesn't give you free samples.
Yeah, I can't click enough times to get myself a piece of ham on a toasty bagel. I'll pay $30 for a clicker game if it starts spitting out samples and discounts on gas. Anyway, I'm at 6:43, so we'll do it on go.
Yes.
You ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
Welcome back to the studio, everyone. Tonight we have Sheef's Beef. And now, the great reveal of the final beef. It's Sinks. Sinks. Why Sinks?
Yeah.
Okay? You're not going to escape them. And the one time you need a decent sink, the one time you have an emergency and you just got to get clean, it's going to be one of these shitty sinks. It's going to be some terrible design. It's not functional. It's either too small or too big, or it makes a mess. And it's going to be too late and you can't escape it. Because when you go out, if you leave your house, you don't have a choice of what the sink is. You're at the mercy of whatever design the architect or whatever was going for. At least with Costco, I can avoid it. I can send my wife there to go and shop, and she can handle everything, and I don't have to deal with it. Plus, Costco has hot dogs, and that is easily their saving grace for now. But that's why today's beef is the sink.
Beef is the
Were you right?
sink.
Were you wrong? Let me know in chat. I want to know. See you next time for Sheef's Beef.
We got it right. We win. What do we win, Meshyf?
We get a free membership to Costco.
So yeah, that was a good one. Although I completely disagreed with you on Costco, and I bet you're still going to pay for your membership every year. I'll believe that that's a beef for you the second that you stop going there. How about that? That's when I'll believe that it's an actual beef. Once you stop going to Costco and paying for a membership, then I'll believe that you actually have beef with it. But until then, that's fake controversy. I don't believe you, sir. So that's it. It was a good show. Some good discussion. Solid hour and a half podcast. A little shorter than usual, but that's because, according to Twitch, I literally have like 25 minutes to start this bounty. I don't know if it's due by then or if I just have to start it by then. I guess we'll find out. But I'm going to be doing a bounty for the crew too. If I get at least 16 people in here while I'm playing the game, I'll get the full bounty, which is $16. Yay! Money for me. But I did get a free...
The game itself.
I got a free key for the game, though, which is $60. So I guess I can't complain too much. Actually looking forward to checking it out. Hopefully everyone sticks around. Tell all your friends. Let's get a bunch of people in here. Let's check out the crew too. Thank you, James, for being here as always as my co-host. There might not be a podcast next week. I'm really sorry for missing weeks. The summer's been super crazy for me, but after that, we should be back to a normal Wednesday night schedule. And I already have at least 3 or 4 guests tentatively lined up for the next few weeks. James is muted because his brother's in the room and he sometimes likes to say stuff really loud. But that'll change too. In a couple weeks, he's going to be back at school. I'm going to be back on my normal schedule, so we'll be able to knock out some normal Wednesday night podcasts, hopefully, without interruptions. Summers are always kind of crazy for everyone, but I thank you guys for being here. And that was a good beef. If you know anyone that's interested in being a guest on the podcast, or you yourself want to be a guest on the podcast, please send me a direct message on Discord, or just hit me up in the public chat channel on my Discord if someone wants to drop the Discord command. We're always looking for interesting conversation and guests and topics. Even if we have a podcast channel on the Discord as well. If there's a topic you'd like us to discuss or a question, it can be a personal question or something in the news, pop culture, music, games, it doesn't matter. We're always looking for stuff to talk about or people to talk to or whatever. So I want this to be a community effort. Definitely appreciate all of your interaction. We're also thinking of some ways that you guys can spend ducats to interact with the podcast. We've thought about maybe like an ask a question where you can spend ducats to submit a question, or even a call in. We thought it might be cool if you could spend ducats to call in. Like towards the end of the podcast, we'll have like a Q&A where guests can call in. You can spend ducats to like join the call and chat with us or something. So we'll be possibly experimenting with some of that stuff in the near future. Trying to find some fun ways to keep things interesting for you guys. So that's it. I'm probably not going to stop the stream. I think I'm just going to update the title, and I'm going to switch over to my usual game view, and we're going to start up the Crew 2. James, do you have any closing comments?
If he gets the full payout, he'll give it away through Steam gift cards. So definitely stick around.
Exactly. Perfect. No, I'm not opposed to doing something like that for sure. That's kind of why I brought it up. What am I searching? That's good for now. Cool. All right. So yeah, no, if I get the payout, I'll do a little giveaway. By the way, I already bought some during the Crew 2 feature, while I'm checking the game out, I might actually be giving away. I have a bunch of keys for a game that I bought, and I want to play it on Thirsty Thursday. It's a little game called Disco Dodgeball. It's a really fun multiplayer game. I bought a 6-pack for like $6, or a 4-pack for like $6. It's like a arena dodgeball FPS fast-paced kind of game. It's on Steam. It's called like Hyper Multiplayer Disco Dodgeball. It has some long-ass title. I just call it Disco Dodgeball, but I bought a bunch of keys for it. So let's update this here, and thank you, James. By the way, James has a Twitter and a YouTube channel. If anyone wants, I'm sure he'll share that link with you to his YouTube channel. He makes content on a fairly regular basis when he can drag himself out of bed. He doesn't stream as much, but he said that he's hoping to maybe stream a little bit more in the future. So yeah, check him out. Go follow him on the Twitter. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel. Go hire him to make videos for you. He's a starving college student, so he can always use some extra support. Robot Roller Derby Disco Dodgeball. That's the one. That's the one. All right, James. Have a good night. I hope you stick around and chat and check out the Crew 2 with me. And we'll be back tomorrow for Thirsty Thursday.